Who has heard of the name Lizzie Borden? Or Ted Bundy? How about Son of Sam? For most of us, we've heard these names for a long time through history, but we don't really know that much about them. So I'm going to tell you who these are, because these are all murderers and are the monsters of American history. Murderers are people that we have known through their evil ways of bombings, murders, and the path of violence. Through what they have shown through history, many of us believe that they were born evil, that they've always been evil since they were born. But there may be more to what is going on, and many are not born into mental illness. That's why we need to know more about why murderers kill other people, so that we can understand them a lot more as human and not monsters. Even with those facts, we still need to identify what kind of murderers there are. There are many, but the most dangerous ones are sometimes very hard to be distinct. They are serial killers and mass murderers, and vary from what the motive of the killer and how they react to society. Mass murderers are people who have killed many people at one time. This can be murdering their family, friends, or a school that they used to go to. This does mean that, yes, a school shooting is most likely caused by a mass murderer. Mass murderers are more likely going towards revenge and have a motive for killing people, like James Huberty, who is known for being the most vicious mass murderer of all history until 1991, as he killed 21 people and wounded 19 in a restaurant in 1984. For all of us, serial killers are known to be men by the media and the news, which is right, because the majority of serial killers are male and the victims are female usually, but there are a lot of women serial killers. But for males, the serial killer should be around 25 and 35 years old, and the reason for it being so young is that they're the most powerful and courageous in their life. This means that they will overpower their victims to feel more powerful than the victims themselves, to say that they can do whatever they want with them. Many of them are the oldest sibling of the family and believe that they are the most intelligent. Why murderers, especially serial killers, can become like this is sometimes about the person and about their nature than mental illness. Mental illness is sometimes the case for paranoia and schizophrenic behaviors that can lead to murder, but it's never the case. According to serial murder expert Elliot Layton, by contrast, the serial killer, while not certain aspirations of his own works, according to a more esoteric agenda that observers often find inscrutable. This leads some to consider him insane, psychotic, or schizophrenic, with psychiatric terms that all denote a severe and socially crippling disjunction between reality and perception. These terms do not fit most serial killers. Almost all the murders that we've known from history and today is that most of these murderers begin this cause through their relationship with their families. Abuse, neglect, or bad relationships with their parents can widely affect how a child will grow up, and in some cases, kill their parents, like Lizzie Borden, who was accused of murdering her stepmother and father as they were hit in the head 11 times with an axe in 1892 because of her horrible relationship with her stepmother and father. Serial killers usually have the most problems with their parents, and in most cases, the parents are divorced or abuse their children either sexually, emotionally, verbally, or physically, and can lead these kids to become murderers, like John Wayne Gacy, who had a very strict father who verbally abused him, and around his 30s, he killed 29 young men, including boys, and dug them under his house. Assassination of weaponry and events could begin the start of mass shootings, like Adam Lanza, who was the murderer of the Sandy Hook shootings and killed 6 children and 4 adults in the elementary school. His family was very familiar with guns, and Adam would sometimes even imagine creating a mass shooting himself before beginning one. But sometimes it's unpredictable and unknown for these killers to be known as inhuman because they know how to be human. In many of these cases, especially serial killers, they can never be spotted as a murderer until they are found out by the police or found out by accident. Other times, they just can't find the murderer, like the Zodiac Killer, who is known for killing 5 around San Francisco, California, or Jack the Ripper, who is a famous serial killer who had killed 5 women in England. We need to be more aware of these characteristics of what truly is the purpose of these murders and why these things happen. We need parents to be more aware that abusing their own children can lead them on a path that will kill many innocent lives, and that abuse will destroy a child's mind into dark and horrible things. Murders are more leading towards the person who did it than the profile of the person. There is more to a monster than what we know, and sometimes the monster isn't what we think of. For most of these cases, monsters are just imaginary. That even though they've done something gruesome, doesn't mean that they have been born evil. Sometimes they were just forced into it.